Football is a part of the very fiber of Texas. From our beloved Cowboys, Longhorns, and Aggies to the twinkling lights of Friday nights, so often the most fervent hopes and dreams of Texans are tied to the games on the gridiron. And no one has carried hopes and dreams to such heights as Coach Darrell Royal.
I think any kid who grew up in Texas who followed sports knew Darrell Royal.
Darrell Royal grew up in the midst of the Dust Bowl in Hollis, Oklahoma. His family was poor. After his mother and two sisters died while he was still young, his father moved the family to California, hoping to find work. But Darrell returned to Oklahoma to live with his grandmother. He wanted to play football, and that's where Darrell first discovered success, leading his high school to a state championship.
He had to work for every dime he ever had. He was always a guy who was trying to prove that he was the best at what he did in everything he tried, and he's accomplished that in his life.
After serving in World War II, Darrell married Edith Thomason, his high school sweetheart, and enrolled at the University of Oklahoma. On the Sooner football team in the mid to late 40s, Darrell was a star running back, defensive back, and later quarterback. He even punted. Many of his records remain unbroken.
He was an excellent football player, and he formed a bond with Bud Wilkinson, who was the head coach there, and that's when he really decided that he wanted to go into coaching.
Today's young coaches can relate to Darrell's early years as an assistant, hopping from NC State and Tulsa to Mississippi State. He spent a year as head coach of the Canadian League's Edmonton Eskimos, and back in the college ranks, he settled in as coach of the Washington Huskies. Then, with only 3 years' experience, the 32-year-old was hired to coach at the University of Texas at Austin. With only one win their previous year, the Longhorns were struggling. Darrell set out to rebuild the program's winning tradition, and the transformation was dramatic.
He really won immediately when he came to Texas. He took a team that had been 1-9 and took it to a bowl game the next year. He never had a losing season at the University of Texas.
In 1963, Darrell won his first national championship title, guiding the Longhorns past a tough Navy squad led by Roger Staubach.
I'll never forget going to the Cotton Bowl to see Texas beat Navy. It was an amazing football game.
Darrell was an innovator both on and off the field. He was the first college coach in the country to hire a team academic advisor.
He was always looking out for your best interest. He was trying to promote programs that would extend your knowledge and open more doors for the players that weren't football players, that were going on in life.
He liked tinkering with his offenses, creating new schemes that are still used today. The most notable was known as the wishbone.
He started the wishbone. He developed an offense. He changed the way people looked at the game. You can point to very few guys in your life that have made such a drastic change for the game, and he did that.
Beginning in 1968, the wishbone led to 30 consecutive victories for the Longhorns, including back-to-back national championships in '69 and '70.
You deserve to be number one, and that's what you are.
This is a big moment in all of our lives, and I'm speaking for the coaching staff and all the players.
During Darrell's time at UT Austin, the nation was enduring a cultural shift. From the loss of a president to the tumultuous years of the Vietnam War, Darrell Royal was a constant fixture through it all.
It was a time when the country really needed heroes, and he was one who stepped up and was. We needed something out there that said, this is constant, this stands, this is real. And Texas football at that time under Darrell Royal was that important in this state.
Darrell retired in 1976 with 3 national championships, 11 conference titles, and 11 teams that finished in the nation's top 10. He continued as athletic director until 1980.
I think there's no way to measure what his accomplishments have brought to Austin, Texas, it brought to the University of Texas, it brought to the state of Texas.
He sold Texas. He was really the window for the University of Texas nationally.
In retirement, Darrell's been involved with a litany of charitable foundations, many benefiting underprivileged youth. He's parlayed his love for golf and country music into annual fundraisers with his friend Willie Nelson. And he remains a fixture at the University of Texas, serving as special assistant to the president. In 1983, he was named to the College Football Hall of Fame, And since 1996, his name has fittingly adorned the largest football stadium in Texas.
He left a legacy on the field, and yet he has gone on with his life to continue a stature that everyone respects and everyone looks up to.
He's got a great heart, a tremendous amount of pride, and his integrity is more important than any win he ever had at the University of Texas.
Tonight we honor Darrell K. Royal with the History-Making Texan Award for the high standards he set and the many lives he's touched through collegiate athletics.